So why don't we start by getting to the heart of the matter? What is objectivism and why objectivism now?
Subjectivism is Ayn Rand's name for her philosophy. Okay. It's what Ayn Rand wrote philosophically. It's how she defined her body of work. And objectivism as a philosophy, we'll give the short version because we can go on forever.
Okay, short version.
Short version of objectivism. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Reality is what it is. You don't make it up. There isn't some other consciousness making it up. A is A. It is what it is. The law of identity applies to it, and the law of causality governs it. We as human beings have the tool to know reality, to understand it, and that is our reason. Reason is our means of knowledge. It's the way we know about the world. We don't know the world through our emotions. We don't get to know the world through some kind of mystical revelations, through some kind of platonic communion with the world of forms. Mm-hmm. The world is what it is, and we, through our reason, know it. And reason is an attribute of individuals. Only individuals can think. Only individuals can reason. And as a consequence of that, the individual is the unit, the ethical unit. We should, as individuals, pursue our own life, mm-hmm. our own success, ultimately mm-hmm. our own happiness. So we shouldn't sacrifice and live for other people. And we shouldn't expect other people to live for us. As individuals, morally, ethically, we should rationally pursue the values that are necessary for our own life to achieve happiness and flourishing. Mm-hmm. Individuals are the unit. Reason is our tool. Then we need a political system that leaves individuals free to use their reason to pursue the values that are necessary for their own happiness. Mm-hmm. The only such political system is a political system based on individual rights, on the recognition of that freedom. It's a political system that we call capitalism, a system with limited government where the only purpose of government is to protect our rights. So Ayn Rand was against any form of statism, any form of government coercion against the individual, mm-hmm. where the government tries to impose its values on individual freedom, the ability of an individual to think and to pursue his values is at the core.
Okay. And any form, no form of statism or collectivism at any scale?
No form of any scale.
Yeah.
So the individual is an end in itself. Mm-hmm. And an individual's survival and ultimately happiness is his purpose in life. Mm-hmm. So the group, as a group, is not a value. There is no such thing as a group as distinct, as separate from the individuals composing the group.
Right.
So for an individual, society is beneficial. We get to trade with other people. We get to learn from other people. We get to benefit from the accumulated knowledge within a society. So as an individual, you want to be in a society, you want to live with other people, as long as they're not imposing their will on you, mm-hmm. they're not coercing you to do things that you don't want. But there's a huge benefit to human relationships.
Right. A lot of people value their community, but so long as community benefits them.
Yes, but again, it's benefits them objectively, and this is the name, objectivism comes from this idea of mm-hmm. being objective. That is, if it benefits them, based on their nature as human beings. Not just that they feel good, but that they rationally know that their relationship with the community is beneficial to them.
How do you make the distinction? How do you tell the difference between just liking it for the sake of it versus objectively valuing what they value?
So the first is a question of evaluating what are the requirements for human life. What is universal across all human beings? What is required for human beings to thrive and survive? And you learn that by observation, by knowing history, by looking at people around you. Mm-hmm. And if you do that systematically, and if you treat it as a science, you discover that there are certain universal principles. So if your community is violating one of these universal principles, then it's not good for you, even though it might make you feel good. And mm-hmm. we can talk about the world of emotions and where emotions come from. But the fact that something makes you feel good doesn't mean it's good for you. I mean, there are lots of examples of this, right? But the drug addict, the heroin makes him feel good. That's reality, right?
Yeah.
But it's not good for him. It makes him sick.
In the long run, yeah.
In the long run, it's not good for him. You know, I'm not sure it's good for him in the short run either.
Okay.
Even though it makes him feel good in the moment. So feelings, emotions are not tools of cognition. Your emotions don't actually tell you what's good for you or what's bad for you.
But doesn't your feeling sometimes tell you what's important and what's not? Sometimes you feel something before you can think rationally.
Sometimes, but you have to be very careful because it's only sometimes.
Okay.
And the better integrated you are, the more you've thought through your emotions, the more you're conscious of the values and the ideas that you hold, the more integrated your emotions will be with your rational thought. Where do emotions come from? To do this, we have to cover that. Emotions are automatic responses to conclusions you've already come to decisions, to values you've already internalized. To the extent that those conclusions are rational, based on reality, your emotions will be consistent with reality. To the extent that they're not, and we come to often when we're little kids or even grown-ups come to conclusions that are irrational, that are not based on facts, then the emotions will reflect that. So sometimes when you're an adult, your emotion contradicts your rational views.
Yeah, often.
And primarily in the culture. And then it's your responsibility, in a sense, to go back and fix the emotion, to bring the emotion into harmony with your rational thought. And that's hard. And it's not always possible, because sometimes your emotion is deeply rooted in some belief or some conclusion you came to, let's say, as a child. And if we had a true theory of psychology, if we had a good psychotherapist, what they would help you do as a psychotherapist would be to undo bad, irrational conclusions you've come to. And by undoing them, undo your emotions. Now, we all know that our emotions follow ideas. We can take a number of examples. You can fall in love with a woman. And you be madly in love with her. And then you discover something new about her. Let's say that she is dishonest. She lies.
Okay.
Now you know you shouldn't love her. Your emotion might still be there, right? The emotion might lag. But over time, as you integrate the idea that she's dishonest, the emotion will go away. And you can have somebody you love, and then a month later, you don't love them anymore. Why? Because you've come to a new conclusion about her. Now, again, emotions sometimes lag. It takes a while to catch up. But that's why you don't use emotions to make judgments, to make evaluations. You use your rational mind, right? We live through our emotions. We experience life emotionally. Emotions are wonderful. They're important. They're good. They're just not tools of cognition.
Okay, that's a wonderful example that seems to justify the supremacy of mind over feelings or heart. But
for the purpose, there, I'd say for the purpose of decision making. For the other purposes, emotions are crucial.
Okay, tell us about it.
Well, you experience art. Aesthetic experiences are emotional. Once you start analyzing it, it's a little different. But the experience of art is an emotional experience. Okay. Right? Sex is an emotional experience. You experience it through feelings. Okay. You're not thinking. It. You don't analyze it while you're doing it. It's not as good. Okay. Right? So the mind has its role, where it is dominant, which is in making decisions. But the experience of life, the living, is often done through emotion. And we don't want to denigrate emotions. Emotions are incredibly important for these kind of experiences.